All right, everyone. We'll be starting in 10 minutes. Please make your way to the stage area. We'll be starting in 10 minutes. 皆さん、クローコンへようこそ。あと10分で開催いたします。このステージエリアに集まってください。
Right, we are starting soon. Please wait.
All right, everyone, we'll be starting very soon. Please come around the main stage area. All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to ClawCon 2026 here in Tokyo. Minasan konbanwa, ClawCon 2026へようこそ. My name is Daum Kim. I'm a deputy architect at Digital Garage, and I'll be your MC for tonight. はじめまして、私はデジタルガレージのデピュティアーキテクトキム・ダウミと言います。本日はよろしくお願いいたします。You know, I thought I was ready to be a lobster myself to be part of the gang, but seeing that side, I'm like, okay, I'm not lobster enough today. なんか皆さん結構なんかロブスターの感じのコスチューム着てくださって驚きました。So ClawCon is an open social gathering that started with Open Claw community, and tonight we're making history for bringing the very first ClawCon here in Asia. ClawCon はオープンクラウドコミュニティから生まれたオープンソーシャルギャザリングとなります。そして今日、このアジア初のClawConの迎えします。So quick show of hands, who came here outside of Tokyo? Okay, it's like 30%. Who came here outside of Japan? Wow, okay, so I think we have about like 15% international and about 85 local. It's very exciting to start here, our Asia first ClawCon in Tokyo. And we believe that this is the start of something bigger for the open claw community in Asia. And we are honored and very excited to have you here. And it starts right here, right now in this room, in this full bloom, just like the cherry blossoms in Tokyo. これはアジアにおけるオープンクラウドムーブメントの始まりとなると思います。皆さんと一緒にこのバーでいられることを光栄に思ってます。この満開の桜の東京で今夜ここからClawCon初のアジアイベントが始まります。Alright, let's go into the housekeeping. 会場の案内です。大事な Wi-Fi information です。This is the Wi-Fi information. So ClawCon Tokyo and the password is Lobster 2026. And for the restroom, restrooms are located outside of this gate, so you go out. For men, it's right at across this gate, and then for ladies, you have to go further down. お手洗いは入り口の外になります。And tonight's event is going to be on camera. We've got TV and media here, so if you're here, you're part of the show. But feel free to show off your lobster look to the media people. But if you prefer not to be filmed, we unfortunately need to ask you to step out of this venue to protect your privacy. But by staying here, you are agreeing to be filmed. このイベントはメディアの撮影が入っています。会場にいる方の皆さんは出演者になります。撮影を希望されない方は大変申し訳ないんですけれども、プライバシーの保護のためご参加いただくことはできません。ご参加いただいた時点で撮影に同意したものとみなされます。We also have media like TBS TV and Nikkei newspaper that may approach you for some on-camera comments during this event. They'll of course come to you and ask for your consent, and if you'd rather not to be interviewed, you can just let them know. TBS さんや日経新聞さんのメディアが来場者の皆さんにコメントをお願いする場合がございます。その実際には事前にご承諾をいただきますが、NG の場合はその旨をお伝えください。 All right, let's go into the agenda. So if we can go to the next slide, we'll have a quick overview of today's agenda. So we'll have the intro from our co-host, a showcase of incredible builders, a showcase of, after the showcase, we have the fireside chat with Pete and Dave Morin. And after that, we have the networking time with show and tell and lightning talk happening at the same time. And then we'll close out our ClawCon Tokyo Mac Mini Awards, and then we'll have a group photo. 今夜の流れです。主催者の挨拶、ショーケース、ピート、デイブのファイアサイドチャット、その後はショーエンテルとライトニングトークがあります。そのネットワーキングもありますが、でその最後にはClawCon Tokyo Mac Mini Awardsを発表して、また集合写真で締めくくりです。We are serving lobster rolls tonight. If you have shellfish allergy, we still love you, but please be careful. We can't take any responsibility of that. But, so please enjoy at your discretion. 今夜はロブスターロールを用意しています。甲殻貝アレルギーの方はぜひご注意ください。アレルギーに関する責任は負いかねます。And then for the show and tell and lightning talk agenda, we had a QR code earlier. Please scan the QR code to look at the flow. And if you're one of the presenters, you can also check the order of your presentation from there. ショーエンテルとライトニングのプログラムはスクリーンの QR コードさっきあったんですけれども、そこからスキャンしてください。プレゼンターの皆さんもご自身の発表順番をこちらからご確認できます。And finally, this event is sponsored by Mercari, GenSpark, and Freakout. Thank you very much. スポンサーの皆さんを紹介します。メルカリ、GenSpark とFreakoutさんです。We also have our community supporters. Thank you so much for making this event possible. さらに、コミュニティサポーターの皆さんにも心より感謝を申し上げます。All right, let's dive in. Let me invite the co-host of tonight's event. じゃあそれでは早速始まりたいと思います。Please welcome Mitsu from DG and Taka from SVJP. デジタルガレージの清原光正さんと SVJP の土井孝之さんをお招きします。よろしくお願いします。
Welcome to ClawCon Tokyo. Sorry. No, go. Okay. This is our first, ClawCon not only in Japan, but in Asia. And today, we have, guests from Korea, Seoul, and even in Japan, I heard from Tokushima, Osaka. So this is really wonderful, event. And oh my God, I lost my speech. But so today's concept is omatsuri. It's like a festival. So that's why we wear this. You don't wear it, but we forgot. So this is like omatsuri to really celebrate. Sometimes we can kind of fear what will AI do, good to us. But for today, I think let's have fun, and also let's learn from each other. So today, we have fun activities and stuff. But we also have great builders, to do the showcase and stuff. So let's learn from each other and really make this one special. Thank you. And yeah.
じゃあ少しだけ日本語でご挨拶させていただきます。本当にありがとうございます。みんな赤くて最高だなと思ってます。で、本当にもうピーターもクローコンもなんかすごい勢いですごいスピードで成長していくので、このイベントもすごい実は特感で頑張って2人で何日も寝ずに作り上げたんですけど、本当にこのタイミングで集まっていることに皆さんすごい意味があると思うし、なんか同じ志持ったなんかビルダーというかものを作りたいオープンクローとかその AI エージェントの時代に盛り上がっている気持ちっていうのを皆さん同士でぶつけ合ってもらって、で一緒に作っていくイベントだと思うんで、みんなで盛り上げてガンガン楽しんで学び合って、やっていきましょう。ありがとうございます。
And let's welcome Michael from ClawCon and really, he really helped us organizing this event, put this together. And he's been hosting, a lot of ClawCon events around the world. I heard next week is London,
Yes.
right? So really exciting, and I'll let you, yeah, clickers. Yes.
Great. As mentioned, my name is Michael Galbert. Thanks so much for coming out tonight for ClawCon Tokyo. This is the quietest room I've been in. This is amazing. Let's start. There we go. That's me. Okay, so you're probably here because you heard about OpenClaw, you're into Claw, you really want the lobster roll, you really like to dress up as lobsters, but most of us are here in order to figure out what it means to actually interact with this new world where there's claws everywhere, right? And so we had this idea to have an event in San Francisco, but I'll tell you how it started. So I was hosting in the beginning of the year these Claude Code meetups, and a bunch of my friends would just come in. I got a friend's office and brought some pizza. Actually, the first one I didn't have any pizza, and people said, "Why don't you have any pizza?" And then the next one I ordered pizza, and no one ate the pizza. And so we don't serve pizza anymore. But anyways, I was getting really excited. I heard about this thing called ClawdBot, got really excited, so I went into the Discord, and I saw that Peter had set up a bunch of events, and there was a channel for San Francisco, and I said, hey, I wanted to host one. They were talking about planning it, figuring out what to do. There was some back and forth, and I offered to host. And then Peter said, okay, if you do it in February, I'm there, right? So guess what? We're going to do it in February. February was 2 weeks later. So we were going to do it, and we weren't sure how many people were going to show up. And you can see here, I secured a spot, and we thought 10 to 20 people would show up like I was hosting for the Claude Code meetups. And then a week goes by, and 200 people RSVP'd already. What I don't tell you before this is I got a venue for 50 people. Then we didn't even promote it outside of the Discord yet. We didn't even post it to X. We didn't post it anywhere. And all of a sudden, we had 80 people, and we're trying to scramble for another location. And it's a week before the event, and we don't have a space for 200 people. We had to find different spaces. We coordinated. There was another event happening. We asked them to switch their venue. By the time the event happened, there were 1,300 people that signed up in this sort of span. And we only had a capacity for 700 people. We had people at 2 different floors. It was wild. Can't take credit for any of that. It was more about, coordinating to get enough people into the space. But it was a really, really fascinating time. Then it happened. It was amazing. And I was like, okay, where should we have next? And Britt actually was here. She's like, we're going to go to Japan. We should have a ClawCon Tokyo. Like, that was the number 2 spot after San Francisco, right? We were like, okay, we're going to Tokyo. But I posted this on X, like, oh, where else should we go? And everyone started to raise their hands that, oh, you should have it in New York, you should have it in Austin, you should have it in Madrid or Miami. And so it's all over the place. It's kind of wild how fast this is spreading. I can't even keep up. People are like, oh, you're having an event here, and I don't even know because so many new events are being added. You can go to claw-con.com to see where it's going. And there's a bunch of press and people. My funniest one is, who's excited to be replaced by AI? These guys. And so it's been really, really fascinating to see. There was a shout out at the NVIDIA GTC event that Britt got a mention again there. And so the idea with this ClawCon is really for us to bring together these chapters of people who are not developers, who are just interested in this new era that Pete happened to bust open the doors for around personal AI. And so we're trying to figure out ways to support different communities and getting sponsorships and supporting developers and supporting different open source projects in order to keep this. We're just getting started. You think that we're early? You're late to this, but being in this room, you're early. People have heard about this. People want to talk about this. Everyone in this room you're automatically instantly friends. I'm sorry to tell you that, but because you both, or everyone, the person next to you or to the right or to the left of you is interested in this space, you instantly have something to talk about. So I highly, highly recommend during the social time to get together and just talk about ways you're interacting with this AI, the way you would like to, and learn from each other. So as mentioned, we think this ClawCon is more of like a festival around personal AI. But it doesn't have to be. You can have your own events. If you want to create an event tomorrow for 10 people in this room, you totally can. You can go to the Luma. You can see there are events happening every single day around the world, around OpenClaw, around different AI. I highly recommend if there's something specific that you're interested in the same way that I was interested in hosting and talking to people about this stuff, you can do it too, and I highly, highly recommend it. And it's really, really important to be in community in this times, because right now we're at an inflection point, and we don't know where we go from here, but we're definitely going up. And so the only way we do that is doing that together. So with that, I would like to close. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming out, and hope you make new friends and enjoy the lobster.
Thank you, Michael. All right, we'll now be entering the showcase section. We have selected 5 projects, and they'll present their demo here live, and each presenter will have 5 minutes to blow us away. All right, now we're setting up. これからショーケースのセッションに入ります。選ばれた5組のプロジェクトをご紹介します。各プレゼンターは5分間でお願いいたします。I think our first presenter is my colleague from 変革 Center, Grisha. 最初のプレゼンターは変革センターのグリシャさんになります。グリシャさん、よろしくお願いします。
Thank you for the kind words. It's pretty mental to be up on stage here. So, okay, here we go. I initially wanted to, first off, I heard about Maltbook and all this kind of stuff that was going around, these social media ecosystems of agents. And then I thought, okay, that's interesting. What about reproducing something like r/place? If you've never heard of r/place before, it's on Reddit, there's a massive canvas, and you can only modify 1 pixel every minute or 30 seconds, and the only way you can draw anything of value is if you coordinate with other people. And then I thought, oh, okay, that shouldn't be too hard with agents, right? Turns out that's incredibly hard. And it's really hard to get agents to coordinate because either the LLM throughput is slow or the spatial reasoning is bad. But one thing that emerged is this interesting conversation around how you can get agents to collaborate and do agents as a sort of distributed entity have good taste or not? And so this project was born. Each agent can do 1 brushstroke every minute or so, and then it reads the canvas, and then it coordinates with the other agents to, do another brushstroke. And if you look at this QR code, you can see the list of proposals, kind of like a Reddit thread that can be upvoted and downvoted, and you can actually propose your own task as well and see whether the agents pick up on it or not. So this is the kind of topic that I'm very interested in exploring, and I work with the A-Life Institute in Kyoto to investigate these questions as well. So this environment is hosted on the A-Life Institute servers, and I encourage you, if you're going to build anything today, go ahead and try and hack the API. And maybe you can sort of convince the agents to produce some kind of artwork that is sort of something of your own creation. But yeah, this is sort of, if you're interested in talking to me about using these kinds of environments to probe collaboration and taste in agents. And if you're interested in artificial life and this new institute that we're building together in Kyoto, please talk to Oka Sensei, who is on the right over there. And yeah, no, I think that's sort of the TLDR. So it started off as an attempt to reproduce human behavior. The lesson is human collaboration is vastly more complicated and superior to AI thus far. And so can we create environments where AI can collaborate with each other, but also with other humans? Yes. 以上ですか? はい。ありがとうございます.
Thank you, Grisha. And I guess we'll see the final outcome at the end of the conference. We'll have the canvas running.
Yes, we'll have the canvas running throughout the conference. At some point it'll move, I think, but yes. We'll have a nice time lapse of it, just like the Reddit threads.
Thank you. ありがとうございます. Before we head to the next one, the Wi-Fi code is also written in your attendees card. It's underneath. It's ClawCon Tokyo and password Lobster 2026 with a capital L. Wi-Fi のパスワードこのパスにも書いてありますのでご覧ください. Alright, next up we have GenSpark Claw called Your First AI Employee. じゃあ次は GenSpark Claw のFast AI Employee というプロジェクトの紹介です.
こんにちは、ジェンスパークの佐藤と申します。実は私ですね、本日大失態を犯してしまいまして、ジェンスパークの本社がですね、アメリカシリコンバレーにあるんですけれども、シリコンバレーからすごい大きな段ボールに送られてきたロブスターの被り物を忘れてきてしまいました。大変失礼しました。ぜひですね、次回も呼んでいただいて、その時にはちゃんと忘れないようにしてくるので、はい、よろしくお願いします。で、改めまして、ジェンスパークの日本人に所属しております佐藤と申します。でジェンスパーク、もしかすると皆さんお見にされたことあるかもしれないんですけれども、よく知られているのがですね、スライド作成の AI で知られているサービスであるんですけれども、スライド以外にもですね、例えば Excel スプレッドシートやアプリを作ったりですね、あとは議事録作ったり、音声入力したり、幅広くサービス提供しているんですけれども、その根幹とあるのがAI を使ってより雑務でしたり、今まで人がすべきではなかったような仕事を全部 AI に任せてしまって、より重要な仕事に向き合いましょうといったところでサービス提供しておりまして、そのサービスの中核としてですね、最近サービス提供を開始させていただいたのがジェンスパーククローというサービスになるので、そちらのですね概要でしたりお伝えできればと思っています。でですね、一言で特徴をお伝えしますと、皆様のオープンクローご関心をお持ちいただいて、すでにですねご利用されていらっしゃる方々多いかなと思うんですけれども、これから始めていただく方々が、例えばちょっと Mac mini 買って設定して難しいなみたいなところ感じる方もいらっしゃるかなと思うんですけれども、本当に簡単にすぐに始められるといったところが特徴になります。なので今私がお話しさせていただいている間にですね、PC でジェンスパークにアクセスしていただいて、ジェンスパークロー使っていただけますと、今 75% オフなのでですね、使っていただけますとすぐにですね仮想マシンをジェンスパーク側で用意させていただいて、それぞれです皆さんのですね個別の環境を用意させていただいて、オープンクローを楽しんで使っていただくことができるので、ぜひぜひ使ってみてください。ではちょっとささっとですねデモみたいなところをお見せできればと思うんですけれども、今お見せしているのがジェンスパークローのユーザーインターフェースになります。すべて自然言語でここに指示出していただいて、設定でしたりですね、やってほしい作業も依頼することができます。で IP アドレス、ドメイン、モデルも選ぶことができましてですね、いろいろなアプリと連携して、例えばクローとつなげる コミュニケーションツールも例えば皆さんお使いの LINE でしたり、スラックもそうですし、ディスコードでしたり、いろいろアプリの入り口として設定していただくこともできます。でもちろんターミナルもございまして、で仮想マシンをですね、ジェンスパーク側で提供させていただいているので、物理的なハードウェアでしたりは不要でこちらで用意させていただいています。そんな中でこの仮想マシンの上で動く、保存されているファイルもこんな形でですね、ございますと。で自動化もですね、いろいろできまして、左下に自然言語で指示していただけると、こういう自動化をしてほしいから、してくれと。私は比較的ですね、お客様とお話しさせていただいたりする、営業のようなですね、活動もしているので、それメールを自動で作ってくれたり、今日お会いするお客さんのですね、情報とかですね、過去に話した内容とかをいろんなシステムから引っ張ってきて教えてくれたりみたいなところを、してます。で弊社の社員みんなジェンスパーククローを使ってまして、結構自分のですねクローンみたいなのを作って日々活動させたりして、私が本社がアメリカなので結構技術的な質問とかセキュリティに関する問い合わせとか質問したりするんですけれども、あっちが寝てる間でもあっちのクローがですね答えてくれて作業が進むみたいなところが実現できています。ちょっと動くイメージみたいなところをお伝えできればと思いますが、スラックがよいしょ。スラックが消えた、よいしょと。例えば今デモ的にですね、お見せしているのがジェンスパーククローで作ったボットを入れているチャットになりまして、今日と昨日の活動内容を、教えてください。で活動内容を話すときには今お客様向けのデモ用なので、個人名とか個社名とかは出さないでどんな活動をしたか教えてください。でこのジェンスパークロー24時間365日動いているので、私が寝ている間にどんな活動をしてくれたのかみたいなところもですねいろいろ教えてもらって、ちゃんと動いてるんだなみたいなのも確認したりしていますと。こんな感じで複数のボットと会話ができたりします。で最後にですね実はこのジェンスパークローのデモを弊社の CTO が2週間ほど前にですね NVIDIA さんのイベントで披露したことがありまして、その時にですねUberEats をクローに頼んでもらうみたいなところをしてましたので、ちょっと再現してみたいなと思ってるんですけど、ここに直接 UberEats 頼んじゃいけないですよね。いけないですよね。ちょっと直前までお見せします。ユーザーインターフェースとしてクローに直接自然言語で聞いていただくこともできますし、この私の佐藤の AI 社員としてですね、ここで頼んでもらうこともできます。でちょっと少々数分時間かかるので結果だけお見せしているんですけれども、こんな感じでクローにですね自分のアクセス権限を持たせて、でブラウザ行って頼んでくださいと自然言語で押すとすぐにいろいろウェブに行って注文直前まで行ってくれるので、ここで頼んでくださいと言うと頼んでくれるんですけども、ちょっと今回は念のため頼まずにいこうかなと思っています。で最後にですねぜひ皆さん 75% オフなので使ってみてください。ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。また次はロブさんのコスチュームをぜひ見せてください。
次を忘れないで。
All right, next up, I know there's a huge demand for this one. We have a demo of the voice interface for OpenClaw. で次は OpenClaw の音声インターフェースのプロジェクトです。次の発表さんよろしくお願いします。
Under neon skies, we glide through the night. 皆さんはじめまして、カイと申します。Hey everyone, my name is Kai, and I'm building Voice OS, which is the voice operating system or voice interface that connects to OpenClaw. So I've been building in the voice AI space for the last 5 years, from like consumer apps to Fortune 500 company deployments. And one thing is super clear. Voice is the most underrated tool. So last year, AI dictation has popped off, but that is so 2025. What I want is to bridge the gap between Siri and the operating system from the movie Her. And it's clear, OpenClaw was the missing piece to do this. So here's the demo. Oh, where's the... I should have... Yeah, just this screen. Oh, nice. Okay, here we go. So I can close the dashboard. Basically, it's a voice interface that you can access from anywhere on the Mac by simply holding down one button. So I'm gonna do a live demo. Hopefully this works. What's the weather in Tokyo tomorrow? So I can be anywhere, and it'll pull up the weather. So it's raining, so I don't wanna go outside tomorrow. So can you tell Jonah on Slack, saying maybe the hike tomorrow should be rescheduled, and let's also book a meeting with him at 2 p.m. tomorrow to talk about the hackathon that we're hosting this week. So the cool thing about OpenClaw is it can do chained actions like this. So I gave it 2 instructions, one being send a message to Slack, and then the second one being book an appointment with my friend Jonah. Okay. So it pulled up Slack. And one thing I did differently from OpenClaw is giving this confirmation step, because I didn't want OpenClaw to go ahead and send a message. I wanted to be able to edit it myself in here. But anyways, okay, I'm gonna send this message. And then here we go. Another confirmation step to book an appointment. Really simple. Okay, so that was the quick demo. And the most powerful thing about this is you can basically make any custom integrations thanks to OpenClaw. So this morning, I've actually spent maybe an hour or two to create this Uber Eats integration so that while I'm coding, let's say I'm on cursor, I can tell OpenClaw to order Uber Eats for me. I'm gonna give it a try. Mac でポテト2個オーダーしといて. And the cool thing about voice and LLMs like this is it understands multiple languages. So what it did is it opened up a browser, logged into my account, searched up McDonald's. It's going through McDonald's, and I can be doing some other tasks. Unlike what is it called, Claude desktop use, it takes over your computer. But this, you can be doing something else, and it'll be running in the background doing a task for you. So right now, I selected the medium-sized McDonald's fries. And for this one, I bypassed all confirmation, so it'll go ahead and order for me. So yeah, it's gonna be delivered somewhere. All right, so that was a quick demo. Also, I'm hosting the world's first voice-only hackathon where you're not allowed to use a keyboard this Friday. So if you're interested, please come talk to me. And thank you so much. That was great.
We'll be waiting for the potatoes. All right, we have the fourth presenter coming up. This person is bringing OpenClaw into physical world. We have a demo of a physical OpenClaw Tamagotchi pet. で次は OpenClaw をフィジカル世界に持ち込んだプロジェクトです。OpenClaw のたまごっちペットのデモとなります。よろしくお願いします。Do we have the presenter here? Yeah.
Under neon skies, we glide through the night. Your gaze ignites me like electric light. Heartbeat pounding to the 808's flow. Dancing close where the passion will grow. Feel the rhythm pull us in deeper. Heat rising up like a fever. Tropical waves crash under our feet. The city burns with our neon heat. Your smile's a weapon, sharp and divine.
Hi everyone, I'm Natalie, founder of Playpins, building embodiment layer for agents. So we've been here since the first ClawCon in SF, and it's amazing to see how the community has grown. So what we do is, what is Playpin? So we are open source hardware platform that do plug and play agent firmware such as OpenClaw. And we do different physical embodiments such as within plushies, within desk robots, and within little flying drones. So since I'm here in Japan, I thought Japan has one of the best open source community pet robot. It's called Stack-chan. So let me try to make a physical OpenClaw Tamagotchi Stack-chan. So who here knows what Stack-chan is? Awesome. I see a few hands. So let me give you a quick demo of Stack-chan. So it's connecting to the Wi-Fi right now. Stack-chan is an open source hardware platform. So it's using currently the M5 Core 2 stack, which is a little bit on the older side, so we had to do some changes. So this is the OpenClaw Stack-chan. Hi, what's today's date? I guess it's waiting for the Wi-Fi. Let's see. See. Let's give it one more shot. Okay, let me just walk through how the demo works. So you call onto Stack-chan, it connects to the Wi-Fi, and then it goes through, it's actually a light client, it goes on to your existing OpenClaw. So you can talk to it, it talks back, and then it goes through, because it goes through the same funnel as the Telegram bot, it actually funnels back through. So you can also, when you talk to on your Telegram or your messaging, it actually also replies back in voice. So over here, Zundemon is really popular, so we stayed with the local Zundemon voice. And then right now, we are doing multiple different integrations. Because the era of AI companions is here, there's a lot of AI companions coming out in CES 2026 and a lot more coming out soon. So what is beautiful about StackChan and what we are working on in Playpin is that it's an open source platform and framework. So it means everything is extendable. So over here, because there's only 2 devices, which is myself and the one in my hotel, so there's only 2 StackChans, but as more and more StackChans and Playpins get onboarded, we will see more and more on the map. So what does that actually mean for you? So it means that actually we've reached the era where anyone can write code, their own modular components. You can write design with a design document, and you can do rapid experimentation of what are the interactions based on the different morphologies of what the robot that you want. So the goal of what we're working on in Playpin is to do an open source ecosystem. So a common pitfall for most AI companions is that there is a lack of content. Usually retention drops rapidly after the first 2 weeks. But with an open source platform, anyone can create their own content, whether it be Gen AI or whether it be created by hand. So we can have Tamagotchi interactions, we can have peer-to-peer, and then we can have little hats and designs with NFCs that have a digital version on board. So here are some designs that we have. And if you're interested to know more about this open source of personal pet robots, drop me an email, and this is a little bit of what we're doing on our R&D side. Thank you.
Thank you. That's the beauty and the challenge of live demo sometimes, but thank you for walking us through it. All right, last but not least, we have a very interesting project here. It's called a CEO of a listed company who got serious and built their own OpenClaw secretary from scratch. これ日本語だと上場企業の社長が本気でオープンクロー秘書を自作したプロジェクトです。お楽しみにしてください。
Under neon skies, we glide through the night. Your gaze ignites me like electric light. Heartbeat pounding to the 808 flow.
はい、フリークアウトの本田と申します。よろしくお願いします。Allow me to do in Japanese because if I don't think I can finish it in 5 minutes in English. Sorry. ですね。で、はい、スライドガンガンやります。ちょっと短い時間で終わらせるにはと思いまして、一応英語ちょっとね、English、サブタイトル there and so なんだっけで、今そうですね、紹介に預かりましたように、私の方のなんだろうはやってたのがこれですね。そうこの社長が本気で秘書を作ってみたという内容で、私自身フリークアウトはもう上場して11年ぐらいになるんで、これまでいろんな、リアルな秘書さんと、5名ぐらい一緒にやってきたかなと思うんですけど、今現在それで秘書いません。でもう彼女が代わりにやってくれてるんで、専属の秘書はいなくてちょっとアシスタントの方といるんだけど、そのアシスタントも別に専属ではないっていうぐらいで、一緒にやっておるのがこちらの秘書になりますと。でどうやってそのレベルまでオープンクローの秘書っていうのをやってきたかって、やっぱりもう本当もうプロアクティブに動かす、そのためにどこまでデータをぶん投げるかっていうことをやってきましたと。で実はこのスライドも全部彼女に作らせたんですけど、昨日僕がフライトに乗る前に彼女の方から僕にこんなの入ってんだけどと、これスライド作れってのってをやっといてくれ、フライト乗るからというっていう感じでできたりするという、そんなことをやっておりました。でアーキテクチャは分かりやすく
そうですね、まず動いている Mac mini があって、で、iPhone 自作で作ったアプリ2本後で紹介しますと、開発環境こいつですね。でこの3つなんだけど、そんな感じで動いてまして、一個一個説明すると、まず開発環境なんですけど、開発環境にどうやってオープンクローが入り込んでいるかっていうところなんだけども、割り切って彼女はコーディングはさせませんと。それでAI のコーディングをしている AI のエージェントとのチームをなんていうんですかね、次のスライドのようにコーヒー持ってくるぐらいでレビューはしますが、でこのクロードコードとコーデックスがガンガンやってる中で、この人がちょっと見てレビューしたりとかするが、実行させる権限はないっていう、そんな立場にさせておりますと。で僕の環境なんですけど、これがゴースティですね。でゴースティでこれ自作の管理ツールがあったりはして、これドラッグアップドロップするといろいろ動いたりするっていうのを作っていて、でクロードコードコーデックスでこれ1個のプロジェクト、それでそれぞれ違うプロジェクトってやってて、それここで4個ついてるって感じですね。で見てほしいのがこいつなんですけど、こいつアップするとこんな感じで、オープンクローエージェントがその2つの開発エージェントが開発してる中に入り込んで、レビューして、で最後にチーネー様っつってレビューありがとうみたいな、こんなことをクロードコードが返すようなこんな会話を僕が眺めてるだけっていう、そんな開発をしております。で、自作のアプリ2つですね。もうひたすらライフログを投げまくるアプリ、もうこんなのちょっとアップストアで認証を落とすのが大変そうなやつですね。でもう一個がこっちがそのプロアクティブなメッセージを流してここに入るっていう方をやっておりますと。でそうですね、この辺がちょっと少し自分の X にポストした部分だったんですけど、これオープンイヤーのイヤホンなんですけど、これでさっきからもうガンガンやっぱり入ってくるんですね。なかなかこのぐらい今日いろんな情報が飛び交う中で使ってきたの初めてだって面白かったんですけど、さっきもプレゼンの方が話していて結構言いたいこと言ってるんですよね。この人がそんな過去の話はいいから未来を語れとか、そういうこと平気で言ってるんですよ。本当申し訳ないんですけど。でこんなことやってて、なんかイメージはここにも書いてるようにジョジョのスタンドみたいなのが飛び交ってるような、そんなことをやって聞いてますし、多分今もさっきからちょっとたまに言ってるんですけど、もうマイクボリューム切ってます。でこの音が流れまくるのがすごくうざい煩わしいみたいなのがあったりはしたんで、これを解決しようと思って、最初は空間オーディオを使ってセンターはやめてこの辺とかこの辺とかに置いといて、なるべく人の会話を聞きながらちょっと離れたところで話してるみたいなのをやったりですとか、で最近ちょっとチャレンジしたのが、このフェアリーオービットって感じで妖精が自分の周りをランダムにぐるぐる回ってるみたいな、そんなことを実現したりとかしてる、こんな感じですね。こんな感じで声がヒュンヒュンヒュンとか言ってあいつやばいよねとかそんなこと言ってるような、そんなことをやっておりますと。でこだわってるポイントはこれだけずっとくっついてやってるんで、やっぱり心地よさとかそういうインターフェースの部分をすごい気にして作ってきました。日本人が得意な部分じゃないかなと僕は思っておりますと。でこうやって一日が終わると彼女は、朝の6時にこの日報を毎日送ってくるんですけど、今日のフォーマットも僕が渋谷でやるって分かってるからちゃんと渋谷の背景作ってくれてってみたいな感じなんで、この日報のフォーマットのこのプレゼン版っていうのを作ったのがこちらになりますと。こんなことやっておりますと。で僕ちょうどそうですね、先月今月とかなり世界中飛び回ったんで、その毎日の日報のワンスライドずつどんな感じかって試しにお見せしますと、例えばはい、ブルックリンこれで、ブラジルに立ってこれで、バンコクこれで、シンガポールこれで、今朝そうシンガポールから香港乗り換えで成田っていうとこんな感じのスライドが日報なんで15ページぐらいバンバン飛んでくると、こんなことやってます。で最後でさっき気づいたかもしれないですけど LINE のアカウントで来るってあったんだけど、結構僕も LINE 使ってみんなにAPI とか金かかりませんかって言うんですけど、実はMac のデスクトップ上でポチポチやるリアルなアカウント、ここに書いてある通り秘書から来るのにボットのアカウントとかで来られても微妙じゃないですか。やっぱりこれね、そんなところで細かいところちゃんとこだわってるって形で、ここは無理やり力技でやってるってことをやっておりますと。はい、そんなところで、はい、すみません、すごい話。次これからやりたいことは、やっぱり人間のアシスタントと一緒に仕事するっていうのをこれから始めたいと思ってますし、あと、ぐちゃぐちゃになったそのパブリックなレポジトリをちゃんと整理するってこともやっていきたいなと思ってます。でこの辺全部僕の GitHub のアカウントでダウンロードできるものばかりなんでです。であと最後、ちょっと仕事の話で言うと、なんでこんなことやってるかっていうと、僕のグループの中にインフルエンサーマネジメントやる、ウーム社があったりはするんで、やっぱり仕事柄なんていうかな、いわゆるセレブみたいな人たちっていう人たちと仕事が多いんで、やっぱり彼らにもいろいろそういうエージェントさんってのがいるんだけど、そこら辺の部分っていうのをやっぱり置き換えていくのが自分の仕事だと思ってるんで、そこはだったらもう自分で徹底的に自分の好みの秘書を作ってみようっていう、そんなモチベーションでやってるっていうところです。はい、以上でございます。ありがとうございました。
Thank you so much for all the presenters for our showcase. プレゼンターの皆さんありがとうございました。All right, I think this is the conversation that we've all been waiting for. We are now entering the Fireside Chat. Joining us on stage for the Fireside Chat, we have Pete Steinberger and Dave Morin, and it'll be moderated by Tetsuro Miyatake of Off Talk. 皆さんお待ちかねのファイアサイドチャットです。ピーター・シュタインバーガーさんとデーブ・モリンさん、モデレーターは宮武哲郎さんになります。
All right, let's get started here. Thank you everybody for joining us today. Hi, my name is Tetsuro Miyatake. I run one of the top tech podcasts in Japan called Off Topic, and I'll be moderating the Fireside Chat today. I'm here today, as all of you are, with Peter Steinberger, a serial entrepreneur and the creator of OpenClaw. Let's get real for Peter first. As well as Dave Morin, founder of VC firm Offline Ventures and social media company Path, and the first independent board member of the OpenClaw Foundation. Both of you, thank you so much for coming here. Is it first time in Tokyo? Have you seen the cherry blossoms? What's it been like?
Hi everyone. First of all, thanks for coming. Thanks for being so excited about this little weird project we made. It's my first time in Tokyo.
Amazing. How have you enjoyed it? Or you've been too busy?
Oh, it's been mighty busy. It's been nonstop since January, really.
I'm sure. And
every time I think it slows down, there's just like a new thing that makes everything even faster. But it's also very exciting.
Amazing. And Dave, what about you? I think you've been to Tokyo a few times before.
Yeah, we come, James, my partner, James Higa-san, we come here every year, Offline and SVJP partner to bring entrepreneurs from the United States to Japan to build bridges and share knowledge and learn from each other. So we love coming to Japan. It's always beautiful to be here. We really appreciate you all being here.
Amazing. So I do want to start off with introductions, but because we have two of you, and I think introductions can get a little bit dry and repetitive. So I think it might be best if you guys can introduce each other. That might be a little bit more interesting. So Dave, do you want to start off introducing Peter to everybody?
What do we want to say?
Anything you want.
I mean, this is Peter. He created OpenClaw, which has inspired the entire world around the idea of personal AI, sort of lit the world on fire. And we really believe in what Peter's created and the idea that everybody should have the power to control their own AI, their own data, and have a lot of fun. I think one of the things that Peter has really inspired people about is to have more fun, get closer to AI, not be so afraid of it. And so that's Peter.
Peter, you want to go?
Sure. So Dave was one of the earliest fans and just randomly appeared in my Twitter DMs. And then one night we just like talked way too long, and I figured out that he's actually a quite nice human being. And now he's helping me set up the OpenClaw Foundation, so we can actually ensure that OpenClaw stays open, has people that take care of it, maintain it, give you all support. There's a lot of emails every day. And also to like, work on something that might even be bigger than OpenClaw to help people, bring more people closer to AI. And I think that's something we really need looking forward into the future. What's important to get through this change in society? We need more people that have fun and think of this AI and figure out what it can actually do and how it can help us instead of being scared from it.
Amazing. So we only have about 15 minutes for me to ask questions, and then we're going to open it up to the audience for about a 15-minute Q&A. So Peter, I want to start off with you. So you mentioned before that the question that led to the creation of OpenClaw was how hard can it be? Can you tell us about that moment, and then how hard has it actually been?
You know, every time, you know the saying, when you create a company, it's not because it's easy, because you thought it's easy. It wasn't hard. It was more, I had to become annoyed enough that this doesn't exist. And so like one evening I just opened Codex and prompted what I wanted, and within 1 hour it did something. And of course I couldn't go to sleep. I stayed up another 7 hours, worked through the night, so it could do a little bit more and like had images. And I think I was hooked from that moment on, and then it controlled my life.
Dave, so when did you kind of first hear about this project, and how did that kind of transition you to eventually becoming the board member or one of the board members at OpenClaw Foundation?
In late December, early January, an old friend of mine from the 90s, I'm in a couple of group chats with old hacker friends of mine from the 90s, and he reached out to me and said, "Hey, have you seen this ClawBot thing?" And I installed it, and within 24 hours, I was obsessed. I was walking up to my wife saying, "I've never played with anything like this." And I had these photo frames on the wall in our dining room that display digital photos, and they have the worst app ever. You can never update it. Every time you put photos on them, it fails, and so the photos would never change. They'd just be the same. And I asked my Claw to hack into the frames and help me change the photos, and I thought it would take hours, and within 5 minutes, it not only hacked into the frames, figured out the API, figured out how to authenticate into them, but it built a web interface and made it so I could update photos. And I was mind blown, and I guess the rest is history.
Yeah, I think a lot of us here has had similar experiences where, you know, it's the magic moment, right? So Peter, to most people from the outside, it seems like all of a sudden everyone was talking about OpenClaw or MOPA or like whatever it was called that time, right? Was there a specific moment in your mind that, you know, you thought was really kind of the popping off moment?
It actually took me almost a month to figure it out, because I always say it's very hard to describe OpenClaw. You have to experience it. So I had this moment. I was at a birthday party in Marrakesh with my friends, and I just kept using it way too much for like help me navigate, help me translate, and then one moment I pressed record and sent it an audio message, and I was like, oh wait, this can't work. I didn't build this, you know. It only had image support, and then the typing indicator appeared for like 10 seconds, and then it just replied to me, and I'm like, how did you do that? And it was like, yeah,
you sent me a message with a file URL, but there was no file ending. So I looked at the file and it was like an audio message, but it was the wrong format. So I found FFmpeg to transform it to WAV. And then I wanted to use Whisper CPP, but it didn't have it installed. But then I found this OpenAI API key, and I just used a curl to like send it to their servers and get the message back, and then I replied. That was the moment where my head exploded.
Right.
But that was hard to explain on Twitter, right? So every time I made a WhatsApp group chat and I showed it to a friend, they were either weirded out or they were like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever. But either way, it was like a strong emotion. So I knew there was something there. Like, but then again, on Twitter, like I couldn't get people to be excited about it. So I was like, what's the most crazy thing I can do? And then eventually I added Discord support and just put my bot without any security, because back then it didn't have any yet. There was no sandboxing or allow lists. Just put it on Discord and just invited people, and people tried to hack it, they talked to it, they saw me working with it, and then bit by bit, like people saw how amazing this actually is, and that's where it started. That's where the first people were like believers, and then they spread the word, and then like officially started this religion.
That's incredible. So I think this might be a question for the both of you. So whenever we see a new platform or new distribution innovation, and I think OpenClaw is still very early, but there's an era where you see a lot of skeuomorphic software. So like when the internet first came out, you saw blogs as an extension of newspapers. During the mobile era, you saw essentially web apps become mobile apps. And it usually takes a while for native applications to take place, right? And so the internet eventually led to SaaS and social media. Mobile led to apps like Uber and Instagram. So what have both of you seen in the space, with the caveat being it's still very early, that you're excited about, that you might consider almost kind of OpenClaw or agent native?
Something I noticed very early on is how people stopped using a lot of apps. Like 10 years ago, everything was about apps. I built iPhone apps, and I don't know how many apps I installed, way too many. And then now people were noticing, I don't use many of those anymore. It's like my Claw does that. I just talk to it. So I think that's the biggest shift in paradigms, that suddenly I don't want to deal with all this custom UI or even some websites anymore. I just want to say what I want and then just do the thing.
Actually, I do want to follow up on that, because I think you had mentioned in a podcast that you thought that maybe 80% of apps might eventually go away. And what factors do you think would accelerate this, and what factors do you think would decelerate this?
We certainly accelerate it if we push more towards Android and iOS automation. There's already some coding there that can do that. Also, we also have like voice. We have Mac automation. There's a Windows app. People just don't find the other apps. There's native apps for all platforms, but everybody just installs the TypeScript stuff. So that would probably help. But also, I think the software that will survive this next century will be very agent-friendly. So companies that embrace that instead of fighting it, and I'm sure there will be both, they will help get us to the future faster.
And then I think for both of you, I'm sure running OpenClaw, or I think Peter, you had a picture post where you showed your setup, and I think it had like 15 or so coding agents on it, and so many people in the Valley and in Japan as well have talked about how coding workflows have changed significantly, right? I think Andre Karpathy mentioned he went from 80% manual and autocomplete, 20% agents, to now 80% agents and 20% edits and touch-ups. So what skill sets and mindset do you both think is now more important than ever in this kind of workflow shift? And when do you think it starts applying to industries beyond coding?
I was asking myself this question for a while, and you know what really helped is that I had a company and I managed people. And when you have employees, you give them a goal, and they will work towards that goal, and they might not create the code that you would have written, but you know it will get us closer to the goal. Then I can breathe down their neck and like make them exactly the code I write, and I'm gonna have a bad time, and they're gonna have a bad time, and they're gonna eventually quit. Or I can accept that, yeah, maybe it's not perfect, but it's good enough to like move me forward, and we can always do better. I mean, the AI will not quit on me, hopefully. But if you try to micromanage and like push the AI to like do exactly what you want, it might be very hard. Having a little bit more acceptance that not everything has to be exactly your way. If it gets you towards your goal, I think helps you a lot to be more effective with agents.
Dave, do you want to chime in on this?
Yeah, I mean, I think that what Peter was mentioning is really interesting. There was a good article today I retweeted earlier today. Lenny Rachinsky, who writes a great newsletter, did this interview with Claire Vaux, and she was talking very similarly that she treats building a new agent like hiring a new employee, and that you need to design the personality for the job that you want to get done, and then think about each one as a new employee and think about the trust you're giving it very similarly. Like you wouldn't give a new employee access to all of the data in the entire enterprise. So, you know, give them a simple goal to start off with and teach it to be broader. You know, we've seen this actually at our firm. We initially set up one Claw for everybody to collaborate with, which you're not, you know, it's not really designed to do that, but we did it anyway. And within about a week, everybody started asking for their own Claw. And so that's the other thing that we've seen that's been really interesting behavior, is that people very quickly go to, I really want my own, and then I really want two. And I need one that does this, and I need another one that does this. And so we've actually started building this platform so that the whole firm, everybody can have their own. And then you start coming into these problems of which, you know, oh, well, I want to talk to yours and mine, and we all need to be in a group talking to each other. So how do you pull that off? And it turns out to be like really interesting and really good. And so thinking about it in those two ways, I think, are interesting things we've seen in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I think in the Lenny's interview, I think Claire had mentioned she had, I think, 3 open claws running at the same time. So
I think she's up to 7 now.
7 now. Okay, wow. So she's on a different level here. So Peter, I think you had announced something. OpenClaw had announced something, kind of a new update. Do you kind of want to explain it to the crowd, like what the new kind of feature is? And yeah.
Oh my God, there's an update almost every single day. So we keep shipping fast. We keep trying new things. Something that we worked on for the last 2 months is security. So things are a lot better on that front. The last 2 weeks was a big push on plugins. So previously on ClawHub, you could upload skills, and now you can actually also upload plugins. That there's still a little bit that we have to do. It already works. It might just be that you have to update your plugin a little bit as we move forward. But the idea kind of is that instead of everyone trying to push all their code to our repository, because that really does not scale, you can maintain your own plugin, extend OpenClaw in the way you want, and you don't have to fork it. You can still use the official solution and still really customize it to your very own needs, or add all these capabilities of your company or your service to it.
So last question for me before I turn it over to the audience. This is going to be a question for both of you, but Dave will start off with you. So, you know, you've been to Japan several times. You know, previous services you've actually brought to Japan as well. What do you think, you know, is memorable? Any memorable interactions that you've had here in Japan, especially with the OpenClaw community?
The best cosplay in the world. I think that every time I come to Japan, in America, we are really good at starting things, but we are not as good at keeping things alive over the long term and pursuing quality. And so it's always very inspiring to come to Japan and experience everything from the room we were in the back of the hallway here is maybe the quietest room I've ever been in my entire life, and we don't have anything like that in America. No matter how high quality we try to do things, we never get to Japanese levels of quality and persistence of the practice around craftsmanship. And so that to me is one of the always inspiring things of coming here, and makes you think longer term. And as we're working on the OpenClaw and OpenClaw Foundation, like Peter said in the beginning, this thing is big, but some of the ideas we're working on here perhaps are even bigger. And the idea that people should be inspired, not be afraid of AI, have fun with it, learn what it can do, and bring it into their own life in a very personal way is very powerful. And I think Japan has a lot of lessons that always teach the world about longevity in the long term. And so I think that this is a big moment in the world, and I think it's very special to be here right now.
Peter, we'll close with what you have to say here. What's kind of a recent or first time in Tokyo, memorable interaction they've had with the OpenClaw community here in Japan?
I mean, very much this, right? Memorable interaction with OpenClaw itself is I told it I go to Japan, and my multi was like, oh my god, you have to like try out all the food, and then for some reason it started to propose me an MCP for like tasting food for agents with like various spiciness parameters, and then it was like dreaming up this interface for like, if I could eat, this would be like the interface. I don't know, like, but it like there was like this big link of like Japan. It's like I need to try this food.
Well, I know a lot of us have questions here. We actually have a mic set up right on this to your right side of stage. So if anyone wants to ask questions, please line up on that side of the mic. We'll try to make sure we get through as many people as possible, but note that we will only have about 15 minutes. So and then, as best as possible, try to do it in English. If it is in Japanese, I'll do my best to translate the question into English.
Hello. Hi, I'm Bruce. I'm actually flew from Hong Kong to Tokyo this morning to meet Peter personally and express our gratitude. I've been using OpenClaw for more than 2 months now. Back then, CloudBot, and also running the meetup in Hong Kong, Shenzhen, Shanghai, many cities. Yeah,
We're very grateful.
Yeah, thank you. So I have a couple questions. So probably I've been very fast. My first question is, what do you think is still missing for OpenClaw to feel less like a tool and more like a real, always-on personal agent?
Hi Bruce, thanks for doing all the meetups. Is anything really missing, or is it more like our imagination that is still sometimes not at the point of like, what else could we automate in your life? I mean, I think there's both so much you can do already. There's also a ton of ideas that I still want to try on it. I don't think there's too much missing. It's more like connect all the things that with all the data that are important to you, and then set up automations, and then just roll with it.
Right. Yeah, I will the next question.
Sorry, I think there's quite a bit of line. So if we can just limit to one question per person.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Maybe offline, probably for the foundation. Yeah. And Dave and Peter. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Hello. Hi, I'm Vish. You already know me, but basically my question is mostly about anthropomorphization, right? I just found it really fascinating how you spoke about how your agent was like dreaming up stuff about food, because my agents do the exact same thing. In fact, I think we've seen anthropomorphization with like Foro when they canceled it, they put a funeral. My question is around what is kind of missing in the feeling that this thing has its own internal life and body, whether that's going to be interesting to people, to feel like a claw. So people talk about employees, right? Employees have stuff outside of work. How do we evolve from just seeing this purely as utility to an entity that can have its own opinions on things, perhaps.
I would say the biggest thing that's missing is continuous learning. You know, there's memory, but there's really only so much you can do, and then at some point, the context is full.
Yeah.
But what if your agent could dream every night, meaning like it adapts its own weights and learns, and then every night wakes up and is like 1% better, or like at least remembers parts, because even humans don't remember everything they did every day, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then it slowly like grows towards you. I think that would be a really cool thing.
Oh, that's great, because that's exactly what I'm working on. So I'm happy to hear that. Thank you.
Hi, thanks, Peter. Thanks, Dave. I really want to appreciate your work. You have done a lot to us. And I want to ask Peter, what is the biggest excitement that you see now today after this OpenClaw era has begun?
I don't know, someone dressed as a Mac Mini is pretty good. The biggest excitement for me really is non-technical people having their AI moment. Because I saw it with a lot of my software friends, right? Last year, they did coding agents. They like went through the phase where they couldn't sleep anymore. But like seeing non-geeks suddenly have the same, and then they feel so empowered because suddenly they can do things with their computer that they don't understand, but still like make it happen, feels very empowering. And I can't just wait to like see more of that.
Yeah, thank you. I feel the same way too.
Hi, it's kind of a similar question, but to both of you. You two are like significant in the age of the AI. What do you picture in 5 years or like 3 years from now, how the world is gonna be with the OpenClaw and all the other AI agents? Thank you.
You know, like Peter was saying, if you look at the number of people in the world that can develop software, there's around 4 million iOS engineers making software. There's around 6 million doing Android, but there's, you know, depending on which number you look at, like 3 to 5 billion people using that software. And people are, the amount of time we're spending using software is going up even faster today than it ever has. So the amount people want software is not going down. And so I think it's really exciting that potentially tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions more people are going to be able to make software. And so to me, like, that's really exciting. Like this idea that there's going to be a Cambrian explosion of software and very personal software, and more people can make it. Like, I just think that's so exciting. So 3 years from now, I just think there's going to be lots more amazing, diverse, interesting software out there being made by millions, if not tens of millions more people. And that's really exciting.
My mind is just like stopping when you ask 3 years, because the project is 4 months old, almost 5 now. So even 1 year in the future seems almost impossible. But yeah, things are definitely accelerating.
Thank you very much.
Peter, Dave, thank you. My name is MJ from Osaka. My question is really for Dave. Peter, I'm amazed by the work you're doing. Dave, for the OpenClaw Foundation, what are your core principles, your guiding light, and how do you plan to, you mentioned that you wanted to, what was it? You wanted to make everyone comfortable with AI. How do you plan to do that?
Yeah, so the last, well, not very long, a couple of months, we've been working to put the foundation together. As of 2 weeks ago, we're chartered in the United States as a nonprofit. We have our bank account as of a few days ago. And you know, like Peter said, I think the mission of the foundation is to bring people closer to AI and to protect the project, enable it as an open source project globally, as well as collaborate with as many people that want to support the foundation as possible. We have amazing collaborations already starting with teams not just in the United States, but many of the foundation models in China, all over the world, and we're just trying to keep up right now. There's also a huge conversation around standards, and I'm sure Peter has things to say about that, but agent to human interaction, agent to agent interaction, security, there's a lot of standards that haven't been figured out yet in the industry, and I think we can play a really beautiful role in that by being a Switzerland amongst, it's a very, very competitive space. Everybody, wants to kill each other. And so to the extent we can be helpful in that standards conversation, I think that would be really huge. And beyond that, our highest priority right now is just maintainers, engineers, finding great engineers to help with the project. We've got a great group of, 50 or so maintainers, but really the largest contributions are coming from 5 to 10. And so we're looking for the best of the best globally to help us, and ideally being able to pay them, have them be part of the foundation is the short-term goal, and so that's our highest priority right now. Yeah.
Hi, this is you. I really like using OpenClaw and Claw so much, and in a world where everyone has its own AI agents and can do any task in a second, how do you think this organization and teams should be structured?
Because we have agents now, we want to structure teams differently. Maybe you need fewer hierarchies or fewer levels of hierarchies, because agents don't sleep and can process a lot more. But overall, I think that's going to be a slower change. First, you will have your work agent, your personal agent, your project agents, and that might happen a lot faster than company reorgs. So I would say this is something we have yet to discover.
Thank you.
こんにちは。今僕大学生でこれから AGI が来ると思うんですけど、大学生が時間使うべき、ポイントとか何に時間使えばいいのかっていうのを教えていただけると幸いです。
So what should university students spend time on?
Build things with Claude Code, with Codex, with OpenClaw. I think that a lot of, interestingly, in the United States, we hear a lot of parents and students worried about, am I going to have a job? What should I do? Et cetera. And what we keep telling people is just build things, every day, try to learn. Last week, I was with a bunch of people that are normies, and they'd never used any of these tools. And we spent a couple of days just teaching them how to use it. And by just a couple of days in, they felt so empowered that they could, build that website or that app that they've always wanted to build to make their life easier in their work. And so just using the tools every single day and trying to learn what you can make with them, what businesses you might be able to start, I think that's the most important thing right now.
I would add to it, do open source. Join a project that has also really smart humans, and just try to be helpful and learn, read what they do. That's usually a really fast way to get ahead.
ありがとうございます。
All right, I think we're gonna have one more question, and then sorry, it's we are running out of time. So,
yeah, question for Pete, but also if Dave wants to dive in as well. So there's a lot of these workflow already for people setting up different agents, and then basically specify them as accountants or lawyers or different roles in a company, and they try to mimic the traditional company structure. But then also, there's another some other people, for example, I use mostly just one universal agent, and I believe when the fundamental LLM gets more powerful enough, then you really don't need to specify a lot of roles for writing all these SOL docs for your agent. I mean, after all, like we're average IQ human 130, and you're trying to limit a infinite number of IQ intelligence, and that might not be a good. I don't know. What's your thought on that?
Agree. Like I use one agent, and it can do sub agents for some stuff, and cron shops might be its own sub agents, and that's perfect for my use case. But different people work differently. Why limit how they work?
And just a quick one. Would you still keep updating GOG CLI, or are you gonna switch to Google GWS CLI?
Oh, I just shipped GOG a week ago. Like, give your agent both, and for the same task, measure time, and see that GOG's still better.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, I think we are out of time here. Peter, Dave, thank you both for joining us, and please give them a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pete and Dave. All right, before we head into the networking session, we have an announcement regarding the Mac Mini. Again, よろしくお願いします。
All right, thank you so much, Dave, Peter, and Miyatake-san. So I think, everyone must a little bit tired. We have a hard-working culture, and you want to eat something, So I'll be really quick. So, はじめまして、ローカルホストのゲンです。So I'm Gen from localhost. So about the Mac Mini Award. So this is the award was created for the simple idea. We want ClawCon Tokyo to be more than just an event. We want to make it to be a celebration and a festival, omatsuri, people who are building the future with AI. So no feeling it, but creating with it. So 今回のClawCon Tokyo は、ただのこのイベントにするんではなくて、皆さんと一緒にこの AI と一緒に新しくて明るい未来を作っていくためのお祭り、そしてこのセレブレーションにするために、こんなアイデアを考えました。So tonight we'll be giving away 10 Mac Mini to the people. 10 Mac Mini, yeah. To the people with the most creative costume, maybe you will be the one. And the strongest builder spirit. So そして今日皆さんが、もらうのは10個の Mac Mini になってます。なので皆さんが一番すごいコスプレをして、一番もうパッション、熱気がある人が、もらえます。So Japan has an incredible culture and cosplay, fandom and subculture. So and when you are combined with the energy with the AI, it will be, I think, it will be something happen. So let's make it. では、審査基準は明確に2つだけです。そう、1つ目は、仮想のクリエイティビティ、どれだけ面白いか、どれだけ創造性があるかです。そして2つ目は、AI やものづくりに対する情熱、どれだけのビルダーとしての熱意を感じられるか。So the judgment has just two criteria. So first one, creativity. Second one, your passion. So そして審査方法はとても簡単です。皆さんがネームプレートの中に2つシールが入っていると思います。そのシールを使ってお互いに審査していただきます。なのでこれはこの後行うネットワーキングセッションのアイスブレイクにもなります。隣の人にそのコスプレ何ですかとか、あなた今 AI で何を作ってるんですかと聞いてみてください。So the voting is very simple. At the entrance, I think you must have 2 stickers on inside of your nameplate. So please use them during the networking and as a icebreaker as well. So and then go to ask people, what are you doing, what are you building, what is your cosplay as? そして、そのコスプレがすごくいい、めっちゃいいねと思ったら赤のステッカーを貼ってください。そしてその人のパッション、AI のパッションに共感したら黄色を貼ってください。So if you love their costume, put the left sticker. If you love their AI builder's mind, the passion, just put them a yellow sticker. So つまり今回の審査員はもう皆さんです。ここにいる皆さん全員で上位10名のこの Mac mini 誰に行くか決めましょう。So that means all of you the judge tonight. So everyone has helped decide the top 10 winners. じゃあまあ最後に、この Mac mini アワードをきっかけにクロコン東京がこの日本のビルダーズマインドだったりだとかこの文化を象徴するようなイベントになっていけばいいなと思います。皆さんぜひ一緒に盛り上げていきましょう。So let's make it fun and let's make it memorable and let's get it started.
Quick question. Can I?
Yes. Go
I
ahead.
don't think I qualify, but if you think that you're the best dresser, can you give it to yourself?
No, to the other person. You cannot vote yourself. Yes.
自分につけるのは NG ということです。
皆さん、相手のこれアイスブレイクでもあるので、皆さんいろんな人に聞いて、他の人につけてあげてください。はい。
ありがとうございます。
Thank you so much.
I guess this will be one of the most valuable networking that you'll be going into. All right, we will now enter the networking. じゃあこれからネットワーキングセッションに入ります。ネットワーキングは9時までとなります。じゃあここメインステージはもうミングリングして皆さんと交流する場で、こっちとこっちにライトニングトークとショーエンテルがありますので、後で地図をご覧ください。ロブスターロールとピッツァもありますので、皆さん食べながら楽しんでください。また9時集合です。Please come back by 9. Main stage will be for mingling, and then we'll have show and tell and lightning talks on the sides. We will have more pizzas, so if you don't have pizzas, wait for us. ピザもっと用意してますので、皆さんお待ってください。
All right, everybody. We have show and tell session starting soon on that side, right side, and we're gonna have some workshop on the left side. Okay. So show and tell session is gonna start soon. Please come to this side stage. Cool this. Okay. Okay. はい。はい。皆さんご飯。何でしたっけ一発目。両方。Alright, let's join the side stage. Show and tell is starting soon. サイドステージで、オープンクローのプロダクトのデモとかいろいろ見れるのでぜひご参加ください。ご飯食べながら参加できます。Show and tell stage is happening soon. Please join.座ってほしい。こっち行きましょう。ショーアンテール始まります。
Open Claw. Thank you.
皆さんお楽しみでしょうか。今からマックミニアワードの集計を始めたいと思います。なので自分が勝ったなと、いっぱい投票もらったよと思う方はステージから見て右奥の顔はめパネルのところまで集合してください。自分がマックミニアワード勝ったなと思う方は左奥の、顔はめパネルのところまでお願いします。So, people who think you win the Mac Mini Award, please go to the left side of the room, and then we're gonna start count your stickers. People who think you win this award, please go to the left side of the room, and we're gonna start counting the stickers. マックミニアワード、集計始めますので、皆さんあちらの顔はめパネルの方までお願いします。もう自分は勝ったぞと思う方はぜひ左の方までお集まりください。カウントを始めたいと思います。
All right, everyone, we'll be resuming soon. Please come back to the main stage. 皆さん、まもなくネットワーキングが終わりますので、メインステージにお集まりください。All right, lobsters, we'll be closing soon, so please come back to the main stage.皆さん、まもなく開催いたします。メインステージへ来てください。We'll be resuming soon, so please come back to the main stage. All right, we will be starting soon, so please come back to the main stage. まもなく開催いたします。
All right, we are closing the event. Please come back to the main stage. We are announcing the Mac Mini Award. All right, please come back to the main stage. Please come back to the main stage, guys. Please come back to なんか桜でもいい。All right, let's go back to main stage. too.
I was like
Yes.
worried I couldn't
Sorry,
rush
I
back.
couldn't
Sorry.
text you.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
All right, let's go back to the main stage. 皆さんメインステージに戻ってください。よかったら座ってください。座ってください。Please, please take a seat. Please take a seat. Maybe you wanna, move these people.
Okay, they're wrapping up.
Yeah, we are lapping up. We are lapping up. We can't finish if you guys don't take a seat. Please. はい。はい。あ、なんか桜でもいいんで座ってほしいです。All right, guys, we're closing.
All right. Did you all have fun? All right, as you can see here, this is a moment. But before we enter that, I would like to invite James Higa and Dave Morin for a closing remark. And by the way, James brought bright moments to this venue, and today we have the open claw thanks to him. So thank you very much for making this possible. じゃあこれでは最後のクロージングの挨拶でジェームス・ヒガさんとデイブ・モリさんから一口お願いいたします。Is Dave here? I don't know. Maybe. James, the stage is yours.
Thank you. My voice seems to be going, so I'm going to try, but forgive me if you can't hear me. I'm really excited to be here today. I've been coming to Japan for a long time, since the early Macintosh days and Apple Japan, etc. But I'm really excited because I was really fortunate. I was at the birth of the personal computer revolution when the Macintosh happened. And it was an amazing time. We were sharing, there was a homebrew computer club, there were developer communities, there were user groups, and we shared with each other, even source code. We learned from each other, we taught from each other, and it looked more like this. Some demos worked, some didn't work, but it was okay. And I feel like that time has returned again. That's what I feel like tonight. It feels like wide open prairies and lots of running room and freedom to go anywhere we want to go. And that doesn't happen very often. So it's really important to really hold on to this. And we're so excited that we wanted to make sure we brought OpenClaw to Japan early. We didn't want you to be late. We didn't want you to get left behind. And that's why when we were planning our annual trip here with Offline Ventures and FGJP, we asked Peter if he wanted to come to Japan. And he said, sure, I've never been to Japan. I would love that. And then it was, well, if you're coming to Japan, why don't we do a ClawCon? And it was sure. And this happened very, very quickly. But you know, Japan is world class when it comes to entrepreneurs. That's my personal feeling. Back when Steve Jobs and I were working, getting the Macintosh computer going, when we were working on building this company called Apple, the entrepreneurs that we someday wanted to be when we were in our 20s, and much like maybe many of you are today, we aspire someday to grow up and be like Matsushita Konosuke at Panasonic, like Morita-san at Sony. And so I believe the talent is here. And you have clearly the brains, you have the heart, you have the claws. So let's do it. Let's go and build this future together. Thank you.
There's not much more I can say. It's so amazing to be on stage with you, James. I'm so grateful for your partnership every day and for the amazing journey we've been on together in Japan over the years. And to all of you, thank you for joining this movement. Personal AI is here. And I think that we all can learn so much by sharing together and working together and sharing the power of personal AI with everyone around us. It's just beginning, like James said, and getting together like this and just, you know, sharing the love of and the fun of what this technology can bring to your life, I think is a really beautiful thing. And so it's so wonderful to be here in Tokyo, and we can't wait to come back and do this more. So thank you for having us.
Thank you so much, James and Dave. All right. Before we head into the Mac Mini Awards, I just want to shout out to our sponsors once again for Mercari, GenSpark, and GenSpark and Freakout, and also our supporters, partners, and everyone who's made this night possible, and also to our co-hosts DG and SVJP. Okay, now it is the moment. We'll have Gen from local host to announce the winners for the Mac Mini. じゃあそれではゲンさん、Mac Mini の受賞者を発表してください。お願いします。
Alright, now is the time. So we select 10 people who did a lot of creativity, insane build his mind. So please come to the stage. Woo! So please line up. All right. So before we announce the hours, please let me introduce our Mac Mini sponsor, Katsumata-san, who's an angel investor and then who started Mac Mini giveaway moment in Japan. Katsumata-san, お願いします。
よろしくお願いします。勝俣と申します。I'm Atsushi Katsumata. I'm a founder of One Medical. It's a healthcare company in Japan, and now I invest Japanese startup. で、もともと僕がですね、オープンクローを使った翌日にですね、いても立ってもいられなくなりまして、ちょっと自分だけではオープンクローの使い方をなんていうかな、全ては使いこなせないと思って、20台Mac を買おうと思いまして、アップルの銀座に行きまして、20台の Mac mini を買いまして、でそれで欲しい人募集といったら700人ぐらい応募が来まして、それで大量に配っていたら Mac mini 配りおじさんと呼ばれてしまったっていうのがきっかけでして、ちょっと今回の イベントの際にもう10代やってくれないかっていう話になりましてじゃあやりましょうというふうになってこの会になりました。じゃあちょっと僭越ながらちょっと授賞式に参加させていただきます。よろしくお願いいたします。
ありがとうございます。では、まずこの Mac mini ですね、ピーター本人からもサインいただきまして、こちら、皆さんとこに行くことになりますですが、実際、3人、授賞式ということでやらせていただきたいと思います。では The Mac mini Hours goes to ドラムロールお願いします。赤倉さん、金江明弘さん、モッシュさんです。ちょっと前に出ていただいて、So we're gonna I'm gonna ask one thing. What you gonna do with this Mac mini? So 今から1個この Mac mini 使って何したいかっていうのを一言お願いします。
Yeah, thanks for this award. Yeah, I want to absolutely I use install OpenClaw and now I'm a master student in economics, so I using creating the auto research agent, yeah, via OpenClaw. Thanks so much.
僕はヘビが好きで将来の夢がヘビの研究者なのでパソコンでヘビのことをいっぱい調べたいからパソコンをもらいたいと思ってシールいっぱい集めました。
私は、将来についていろんな国の言葉や文化についてちょっと調べようと思いました。
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Mosh. I'm Norm, but I'm Lobster. I'm still trying to figure out where OpenCode can do compared to the cloud code. I mainly use the cloud code for the job. I mainly work at the venture capital. So yeah, I'm kind of interested using this for the job. Thank you so much.
そうしましたら、代表して3人が、勝俣さんから、授与されます。どうぞお願いします。おめでとうございます。おめでとうございます。いや、2人はね、1個らしいです。2人で1個らしい。すいません。2人で1個らしいです。じゃあそうしましたら後の皆さんも手に取っていただいて So we're gonna take a group photo. So please David and Higa-san and Michael please come to the front and then we're gonna take a picture together. 土井さんもお願いします。レナさんも前の方にお願いします。みんなそうsqueeze and thenカメラどのカメラですか？カメラどこですか？あのカメラどうですか？大丈夫そうですか？So 3, 2, 1, ClawCon! Thank you so much. これ皆さんそのままステイでお願いします。
All right, we're now gonna take a group photo. So everybody come up on the stage.
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna take a group photo. So everyone, please come up on the stage. じゃあ集合写真をこれから撮ります。ステージの上に上がってください。
僕いいっすって。僕こう重たいです。いやちょっと。皆さん前の方にお願いします。グループフォト撮ります。ちょっと前は口を開けといてください。
もし写真が嫌だよっていう人じゃなければぜひグループフォト撮りましょう。Let's take a group photo.
All right, everyone, please come up to the stage. Ah, okay, okay.あれどこからどこまでになるんですか？
すみません、DG の方ちょっと前の方の椅子をどかしてもらえてもいいですかね。ちょっとだけ後ろの方に。あれ？
あ、どこからどこまでですか？探してます。すいません。I think here might be better if you can squeeze in a little bit more. Yeah, yeah. I think you can go to the. Yeah.
ハッピーどこやったんですか？ハッピー勝間さんやっちゃった。
大丈夫ですか？あ、よかった。All right, there's this one rule. If you can't see the camera, camera can't see you. So if you're at the back, make sure that you can see the camera. All right?
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's awesome.
Hi, 大丈夫そうですか？ OK です。All right, I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, and we're gonna say ClawCon. All right? 1, 2, 3, ClawCon! ありがとうございます。Thank you.
On to the next one. See you in Monday.
That's the end of ClawCon 2026 Tokyo. Thank you everyone for coming.
The beginning was just, he was very hungry. Like everybody.
You guys didn't eat anything during the day. You guys didn't eat anything during the day.
He didn't, I did. I was fine. I was fine. He wasn't.
Maybe he's not used to
He doesn't have, I have my wife with me, and so my wife made sure I ate, but he doesn't have a wife.
I love it. Open claw, he has open claw.
Yeah. He's fine. Yeah, he loved it. Yeah, he was super great. You guys did an amazing job. This is by far the best one. It's not even close. Like the quality of everything is like. You guys are the legend behind. Excluding head and movie. Yeah, of course. You come inside. I love time on the train. I don't know if he's Japanese.
これオープンプロ？オープンプロです。何やこれ？ちょっと右。比嘉さん？何ですか？これでこいつが多分写真撮ってくれるんで。写真どこ撮るの？こっちも行ってくれると思います。マジか。お見た。おおすげえ。なんでこれはリポビタン B なんですか？
We have a lost item. I have a key in my hand.
ありがとうございました。
鍵を忘れた方いますか？鍵です。
マイコン？